Although rare, meeting an INFJ for the first time can trigger all sorts of unfamiliar feelings, personal reflections, and inaccurate opinions. With such an infectious effect on others despite their reserved demeanor, there's something in meeting an INFJ for the first time that is unlike any other encounter. So, how do people perceive INFJs and their idiosyncrasies upon first greeting? Welcome or welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. They can sense the INFJ's old soul mentality. One of the first things people notice about the INFJ personality type within minutes of meeting them is their old soul. With an inquisitive mind and grounded demeanor, most INFJs have been told more than once that they seem mature for their age, and it doesn't take long for people to pick up on this idea. People instantly notice through the INFJ's unbiased insights, deep understanding of the world, emotional maturity, lack of desire for materialism, innate need for solitude, inclination to go against the status quo, and philosophical view of life, that they're wise beyond their years. In fact, sometimes it's even noticeable that some INFJs, at a young age, know too much for their own good. Despite this being rather intimidating for some people at first, after a while of getting to know the INFJ, this energy transforms into a welcoming and comforting presence that draws people to them effortlessly. The only downside is that through this grounding essence, they can attract the wrong type of person, putting their empathy at risk. Number 2. They try to figure them out. Sophisticated and mysterious. When people first meet the INFJ, they usually can't quite read them the way they're used to reading others. Because of their reserved and pensive energy, depending on the setting and the person, this quiet nature can be quite attractive and alluring due to the fact that it's difficult to put a finger on just who the INFJ really is. People become captivated at just how little of their personalities INFJs show on their surface, while exuding such an infectious aura that can be felt as soon as they approach. When talking to an INFJ, you can tell that they don't share all that they think or all that they do. And that triggers an innate curiosity in others that drives them to want to know more. Although the INFJ has the ability to ingeniously adjust their demeanor to match others, they always maintain this sense of unwavering poise and politeness that further captures the attention of others. The spotlight on their inner beauty allows others to see how charming and courteous INFJs truly are, beyond their physical appearance and closed-off body language. The best part is that this grace comes with an obvious sense of acceptance. To the INFJ, it doesn't matter who they're talking to, they always show up gracefully. Number 3. They can't help but notice the INFJ is a bit of an oddball. Despite others' best efforts in trying to break through the INFJ's mysterious exterior, it's not uncommon for them to walk away from a social engagement with an INFJ thinking to themselves, what an oddly interesting person. Upon meeting an INFJ, some people see them as just plain unusual. And they're not completely wrong. INFJs know they're not like most, and fortunately, they learn to embrace that reality after years of trial and error. So, it's not exactly a surprise for this eccentric type to find out that others notice how unique and unrelatable they are to the world and the people around them. Despite their best efforts of mirroring the energies of those around them, their genuine thoughts and intellect ultimately shine through. In addition to their intriguing oddities, they hold a noticeable unease and apprehension when navigating through a world they don't entirely agree with. This becomes even more apparent in social settings or upon meeting someone new, whom they've yet to build trust with. Number 4. They notice the INFJ's reflective depth. Reflective and thoughtful, the inner workings of the INFJ's mind leach into their outer demeanor no matter how much they try to conceal it. Although their reserved nature doesn't always prompt them to share their analytical findings with others, their deep demeanor can be quite noticeable from the outside looking in. Through constant analyzing, observing, and introspection, INFJs tend to choose certain wording and subjects when they communicate with others. When first meeting another person, it's not unlikely that they will be caught observing them with their piercing gaze or gently pushing to connect with someone's emotional sides. Rooted in this reflective and nostalgic energy comes a slight intensity that hints at the depth they hold within. However, without knowing the INFJ's imaginative thought processes and genuine curiosity for human nature, one could easily mistake this intensity as seriousness, making them seem stern or judgmental. Which brings us to our next point. Number 5. They feel judged in the INFJ's presence. In addition to their noticeably reflective and pensive exterior, there's an aura of perfectionism that others tend to pick up on when they spend enough time around the INFJ. Despite the deeply appreciative and playful character INFJs have within them, there's no doubt that they can be a tough nut to crack for those who try to win them over. Whether in a romantic setting or in how they view their own accomplishments, it often seems that satisfying the INFJ can be both effortless and challenging. Like many of the contradictory traits common among INFJs, this difficulty in finding satisfaction can make them appear far more judgmental than they really are. This aspect of their personality might lead others to believe that INFJs always find fault and never see anything as good enough, when in fact, they simply have a specific vision in mind that they believe can be achieved. INFJs will likely do their best to communicate their expectations kindly and help others understand their perspective, yet it's in the times that they don't communicate at all that others feel most judged. Number 6. They probably witness their benevolent core to some degree. If there's one thing that shakes an INFJ from their reluctance to socialize with strangers, it's their altruistic obligations. INFJs not only enjoy helping others, but it's in their very nature and cognitive makeup to act on their compassion. Known as the MBTI advocate or counselor, the INFJ holds an innate empathy that drives them to put others before themselves. In fact, in relation to their at times judgmental exterior, INFJs not only see helping others as a non-negotiable act of human decency, but they can become rather disappointed when others lack it. And so, it wouldn't be surprising for another's first encounter with an INFJ to be in relation to their habit of being helpful. Whether it's through the simple act of going out of their way to hold the door open for someone who has their hands full, offering to help a classmate study, or offering a couple dollars to someone who is shortchanged, these altruistic obligations tend to be some of the only interactions they have with strangers. And lastly, number 7. They tend to trust an INFJ's opinion despite not knowing them. Yes, INFJs usually consciously decide to avoid watching the news or reading the paper, yet due to their inherent curiosity, they somehow remain well informed. Not only are they aware of what's happening in every aspect of their lives, such as recent work drama or global affairs, but they also hold well-evaluated opinions about these matters. By meticulously analyzing situations from all angles by considering various perspectives, their ability to uncover the closest approximation to truth makes their judgments valid and trustworthy. Despite others not knowing all that goes into their opinion-making process, INFJs give off a sense of unbiased fairness combined with their intelligence that makes them seem as if they have their head on right. Whether it's due to the fact that they only speak when they have something necessary to say, or their conflict-avoidant nature that encourages them to disagree in the most polite way, INFJs approach their opinion-giving tactic in a take-it-or-leave-it type of way. Plus, this sensible approach to all sorts of matters grants the INFJ access to deeper conversations with others, an outcome INFJs often seek when socializing. Well, psychos, That's it for today. So, do you think you project these qualities as an INFJ when someone first meets you? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.